Alright, what's up guys? This is a tutorial on how to utilize the item creation feature for TRP Extended, as well as the interesting things you're able to do with it. The creators of this add-on have a video in English that describes the more basic features, and I will leave that down in the description below. To sum up the basics that you need to know, the bare bones of the add-on are what stashes are, how to trade items, and how to pick up from stashes. Now, to pick up from stashes, you can press M and you can utilize the scan for roleplay feature, and you can scan for player stashes or you can scan for your own stashes, and it will scan and pop up a blip for the zone that you are in, and it will show you the stash's name, the icon, and then if it has any items within it or not. Okay, and then to trade items, you can go to your inventory, which is this blue bag right here. You can drag and drop, and if you don't put it on something that has TRP extended, it will either give you the option to destroy or drop, so we'll hit cancel. But if they do have TRP extended, they can accept the item through a trade very similar to how the game's mechanics initially play out. And yeah, those are the more basic features, and if you press drop system, you can search for player stashes, search for your own items, and create your stashes through that tab. Now when we click on the extended objects database, we can go through here and we can see what we've created, what other players have created that we've picked up, and then what the backers have created for the add-on. Then we can see our full database right here. We're mostly going to be focused on this. We're going to press create item, and we are going to ignore the create from and quick creation options right here, and we're going to focus on these three templates for now. More so blank item, as it has the more variants that you can utilize it for. So we are going to make an object with sound for this example. So we can fill out this miscellaneous text, and it will, as you can see from the preview, it would look like this. We're going to go over here. Most of these are fairly straightforward. The prevent manual adding just means that this item can only be given if it's through a certain workflow, which we are going to go over in a minute. So we're going to press usable, and for this example we're going to use wearable. And then when we do usage test, we can go over there and we scroll over and it'll say what the usage will be. And then you can choose the pickup sound, drop sound, doesn't really matter what you do. Sure. Okay, and then we're going to go to the workflows. This is where you basically utilize the creation feature. Inner objects, you don't need to worry about that, but you can make it for documents or cutscenes or adding additional items within this music box. But for now, we just wanted to play music. So we're going to go to the effects. We're going to go to sound and music. We're going to play music, or you can play local music. If you press play music, it will only play for you. If you play local music, everybody within a range of you will hear the same audio music that you do. So we're gonna just, for ourselves, guilty pleasure, and we'll use this. This is extremely obnoxious, very annoying, so it's perfect. But if we want to properly utilize, and you can save as much as you want throughout this entire process, we're gonna stop that. So as you noticed through the preview, the music will play non-stop unless you add a delay, and then you add the effect that stops the music. And now if we save that and we go back to our database, we go to this music box, we go to this music box and we right click it. You see these options. You can delete, you can see the security, you can add to your inventory, you can convert to expert mode, copy the ID, copy object content, quick export object, and full export. Right now we are just going to add it to our main inventory, but we will be coming back to this. So now that we've added it to our main inventory, if we right click it, it'll play this Goblin Shanty for 10 seconds. Or sometimes it also has an issue where it doesn't play it fully for the 10 seconds, but if you continue to use it, it will fix itself. Okay, and then if we want to go back to our music box, and maybe we don't want it to play music anymore. Maybe we want it to do something different. We can remove the effects that we already had added, add a new element, and say we want it to display text. Hello, how are you? So we save. Now, whenever we use our music box, instead of playing our sick tunes, it will play hello, how are you? To you, specifically. Only you are able to see when you right-click this. Only you are able to see that text. Or perhaps we want something that everybody can see. So we'll get rid of that. We go to the effect, and we will go to speech, the narration. Now if we save, it will be almost as if you're emoting, but it still says that you are the one that denoted such a thing. Okay, we will get rid of that speech, add a new effect, and we will make it so it seems like an NPC says it. This is a very useful tool. You save, we go up here, we right click, and now it has the NPC's text as if they were saying something to you, but you just use an item. We will go through that again, and those are the sort of speech emotes. You can make it so it's essentially a macro for yourself. You yell something or emote something when you use the item, so everybody can see. In the inventory tab, you can add an item when you use the item, destroy the item, toggle weapon sheath, all of that. The dice roll is interesting. You can set an item to roll specifically for you, save, and then it will roll out of 100 for us, or you can change that to any variable you want. If we go back to the workflow, get rid of this shit, add a new window, we can go back to the effects. There's the sound of music, the sound ID. It doesn't have an internal sound ID folder, so what you will do is, this is the default.
Much luck playing with Squishy.
Right, so we don't really want that, and I will add a good link in the description below for a forum post that displays a good number of different sound effects, or you can go through Wowhead as well and find what you need from there if you search it up. Okay, and then we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to go back to our effects. You can make you can summon a mount, dismiss a mount, summon a pet, dismiss a random pet, and then you can do camera effects as well. And for the conditions, we don't need to worry about this right now. It only is a variable for very specific things, or if you want the object to do something where it has set conditions that need to be made before you can even use the item as a whole. So we'll go back to our database, and we will create a new object, and this time we'll create a document item. We will make ourselves our very own book. Okay, so we have our book, and we can maybe give it a title. Alright, and now we have that, so if we hover over this, you can see How to Dummy by Me for Mom, and it'll have all our details there. It's usable. The usage text is read document already by default. You can make it wearable. We'll make this wearable as well, and I'll get to what that wearable symbol means in a second. We go to workflows. Right now, workflows for this doesn't mean much to us. We go to our inner objects this time, and this is a great way to actually understand how the inner objects work. It is for if you want the item to have an internal effect or something within it, something containing it, what have you. So we will click our empty document, and now we have what looks to be the basic written template for TRP. So we will write in our diary, and if we wanted to add pages, we could add pages, and then we can see our preview right here. and you can change the sizes of the font and what the font is with these. Each one has a specific. You can see the H1, H2, H3, and the paragraph. Each one has a different setting that you can have, and these, of course, just set it so it's left, center, right, or center and right. And there are 4 different options, so you can't go too crazy with it, but it's mostly just the in-game text that you are able to utilize. Okay, and then we are going to take a look at the container items. Container items are very simple, very straightforward, and we saw this when we were looking at the blank items as well. Container items just mean you can hold additional stuff in it. So if we just want to have a bag, we go to the container and you can choose the size of the bag. You can have a really tiny bag, medium bag, or a large bag. And essentially what this does, as you can see, I have an additional bag in my inventory. If you double click it, it'll have extra room for you to use. So it's just a bag system like regular WoW, essentially. So we'll put that back, put that away. And then we will create our book so we can view it properly. We'll add one. You can add as many as you want, and that is a good way to distribute if you are creating items that are for other people. We will go through this, and we can see that. Flip through the pages, it's all blank. I recommend using a black color or a darker color on this sort of parchment. This is the default parchment and it is the one that fits the best, as some of the other ones have splitting issues. So I highly recommend just sticking with the default parchment setting. And then if we wanted to put that on, as we did make these wearable, we would go to our own TRP. We will go from our profile to our inventory, and then we can add this book wherever we want. Add it right there. If you press this O, you can change where on your character's model the book will point to when people hover over it. And now if we hover over it, we will do a pose. We have our music box in here as well. And if we right click from our equipment, it will activate. This music box does dice rolling. Let's see what this music box does. It doesn't do anything. Right. Now, finally, we are going to look at how to import items. So we're going to use the quick import feature. So say we want to import this item specifically. We go down to the quick export object. We get that, copy it, and then over here we are going to open up wago.io, which I will leave a link to in the description. TRP has a link to it as well. We will paste our quick aura here, and then here we will see that it has our TRP3. It'll have the name of the item, and then it'll have that we're an anonymous guest. You can log in and you can save it, and when you do, you can make it public or hidden, or you can make it so only you can see it if you're logged in, and you can make it expire never or in 15 minutes. And that is a great way to give your intellectual property over to someone else, and they can manipulate it as they see fit, and they're able to play around with the effects that they can add to it as well. And they can also pick out large quantities of if they want to hand it out or not. And then you get the code, you'll go to the quick object import off that website. It has public everything. There's an entire tab made for TRP that other people's items have been submitted to. You will copy it, paste it here, and then when you press import, it will show up an item that you hadn't had before. Anyways, guys, that has been a not so brief, kind of bare bone tutorial on how to use this add-on. I hope you enjoy. It is an add-on that is very good for the creative person, and if you are able to come up with different ways to play around with the different effects, as in maybe your music box plays music, but it also has an emote of someone doing something as well, like them grinding the handle or what have you. It was very good to like mix and match that sort of thing with the workflows, and I am very hopeful that more people start using this add-on. And until I figure out how to fully work the campaigns and quests, I will see you next time. Maybe, probably not. Maybe, maybe.